So I thought I'd shoot you a video on where everything is and how to operate the boat while you wait. So I'm sitting here at the console, and we'll kind of go through the switches. So you got 4 on this side and 4 on this side. So the ones that came from the factory are labeled, and they are appropriate for what they are. There's 2 that are not labeled. So this switch here, that controls the wireless phone charger. When I turn that switch on, you can see the light comes on it, and when you put your phone in there, the light will turn green if it's charging. Okay, that's that switch right here. Okay, this switch right here, this gives power to the main depth finder at the console. Okay, so we've got it on. So when we sit down, we want to turn it on, and you just hit the button here. You'll hear it make a beep, and it'll start up. It takes it a few minutes to start, but once it starts up, you'll have everything there. So if you look down, we got the wheel. On the bottom is a tilt. So this boat's really adjustable for comfort for whoever wants to drive it. And you've got a tilt wheel, so you can go up and down on the wheel to however it fits you. And then of course you got the foot pedal down there on the slider. You can take that pin out and you can adjust it forward and back how you need to fit. And then if you look at the wheel, we got our standard steering wheel, and we have blinker trim. So what that means, you can keep your hand on the wheel, and you can use the trim right here, up, down. The trim on the binnacle still works fine, as well as the trim up front and the trim on the motor. There's 4 trim switches in here, so wherever you're at, you can trim the motor. So if you look down, you got your live well controls. You got empty, which is where you normally keep it. You got auto and recirculate. And then of course you would turn on your pump up here that would fill the live well up. You got your lights, nav lights, interior lights, and then your gauges. So all the gauges work, but this water pressure here is not hooked up. So you're not gonna see it move. It wasn't very helpful anyway, because this motor would not register a ton at idle anyway, because they use a high volume, low pressure pump in these new motors. Well, what I have is I put the sensor from Yamaha in the engine that ties it into NEMA, so that water pressure info is available in the heads-up display. So that way you don't have to look at that gauge. If you look down, you got standard key here. I put a new floaty on here for you, and you got all your keys to all the latches. So you'll have to go through them. Some of them are for these E-locks that are on the sides of the depth finders. Some of them are for the individual hatches. I believe there's maybe one for the glove box. So you'll have to go through the keys and see which ones are which. So you can see we got our depth finder up. If you hit this upper right button, this is the pages button, okay? And this gives you basically a selection of wherever you want to go. So I usually have this page when I'm running, and this upper right page, when you hit it, it's going to bring up this. I've kind of customized this how I want it, and you can see I got all my data here. I got my map here, we got the bottom here, we got our speed, I got my RPM, my water pressure, and then the trims down here. Now you can customize and put whatever you want. You hear engine temperature, oil pressure, mile per gallon, whatever. Okay. Now a couple things on the depth finder. So this boat has several different transducers in it. Okay. So if you look here, let's see, you see where it says frequency in the channel. So there's channel 1 and channel 2, and then you can select different frequencies, or chirp, or high chirp, medium chirp, whatever. So channel 1 is a shoot through the hull transducer. So that's going to give you the ability to read the bottom when you're on plane. So if you're on channel 1, okay, that's going to give you, you'll be able to see the bottom while you're moving, okay. Channel 2 is the 3-in-1 transducer that's got the chirp capabilities. It's got the side scan, the down scan in it. And that's going to give you the better, clearer picture in the 2D, okay? So that's in your 2D. You've got those different transducers that are available to you. There's also a transducer on the trolling motor, which you can read as well if you want to see your upfront depth. And all of these transducers are also available on the front unit because everything's networked, okay? Now, if you look here, you've got audio controls. So You can control your radio here. If you're playing a song, it'll show up here. You got volume, your source, whatever. And you have trolling motor control, right? So if you want to put in a course on here with a trolling motor, do a course lock, an anchor mode, whatever you want to do, that's available here as well, because the trolling motor is also hooked up to NEMA. So if we take a look at our engine data now, so here's our engine data. So if we want to see what's going on, so we cut the key on and we'll start receiving data from the engine. You can see we've now got 17 hours and 4 minutes on the motor itself. So that gives you an idea where your maintenance needs to be done. You can see the engine temp is 118, and we're not running right now, but this is our main batteries at 13.4 volts, and we have 37 gallons of fuel, okay? So we got the key on, so all we gotta do is just bump it, and then now the engine's running, all right? Look back there, you can see it peeing out the side. You know, everything's running good. You can see here, you've got your engine data up here. We've got our water pressure. We got 3.6 PSI. We've got our engine temp at 120. This is the trolling motor battery voltage, how much gas you're using. This is your engine manifold pressure, your oil pressure, fuel, RPM, and then the alternator voltage. And you can see we're now counting up on our engine hour timer. There's a few other things that are available in here if you want to take a look at them, but that's your main data. So on the fuel, it's important because this boat has a fuel data management system. And the way it gets that fuel is you go over here, okay, and you hit the settings setting up here, all right, where this little settings button is, and you see where it says fuel, okay? So the computer knows how big the gas tank in this boat is, okay? And the way it works is when you fill up on gas, you click this refuel and you say set the fuel, or you put how much you've added. Then it adds that fuel to that value on this page. And then as you run and the boat uses fuel, it basically subtracts from what you got on board. So the computer knows how much fuel's been used by the boat, and it gives you a secondary source of your fuel data. This fuel gauge still works down here. You can see it's showing we're almost full. Even though we've got it up here, but there's different data sources, right? So notoriously bad fuel gauges in boats. This one does work, but this gives you a secondary source, so you know you're not going to run out of gas. So that's basically the MFD. You've got side scan in here, you've got down scan also, and you can read the active target, and we'll go over that in a second. So yeah. If you come up to the front, all right, we've got the Lowrance Ghost and we got the head unit. So this unit does not have a switch to give it power. You simply hit the power button and it will start to power up, okay? While it's powering up, if you look down here on the trolling motor pedal, there's a button to turn on the Ghost, okay? I highly suggest you turn it on as soon as you get in the boat, because it takes it a minute or two to get a GPS fix. And if you just drop the trolling motor and hit spot lock, right after you've turned it on, it won't spot lock. So if you turn it on, give it a minute or two to get a GPS fix, then it'll spot lock. On the sides, you got anchor mode, and then you have 3 programmable buttons. And you can go into the Lowrance unit, and you can tell it what you want those buttons to do. You can do a waypoint, you can do continuous. There's several different options in there that you can select for how you want the trolling motor to work. Okay. So the trolling motor, to get it up and down, you got standard cord. You just pull it. Now you'll notice when it gets close, it actually rotates itself in the right orientation to be stored. And then when you drop it, it goes back, right? And that's how the Ghost works. So this unit, basically the same unit as the one at the console. It's got just a slightly faster processor in it. But it's going to function virtually identical to the one at the console. Behind it, you got trim switch, unused, and then you got your lights in case you want to adjust your lights. This is where your light post goes. Now, the way the active target works is it's tied into this front unit. So when you turn on the front unit, it will turn on the active target black box that's in here. It'll power it up when the front unit comes on, okay? And then you can see it on the back console, front console, wherever you want to see it. So that's essentially how it works. Like I said, you got all your transducer data here. You can see in my boat slip where we got about 4.6, 4.7 feet of water there. But that's essentially how that works. Now these are the fender cleats that I told you about, and I'm going to show you how it works. So down here, I'm going to send you with plenty of fenders. You'll be in good shape. So you'll notice some of the fenders have the clips on them already, okay? And you can see the clip on the fender here, all right? And the way that works is you're getting ready to go up to the Hula Hut or wherever you're gonna go eat, party, whatever. You just take it and you clip it right in there, all right? And now your fender's on the side of the boat, protects it. I usually use the flat ones in the front and the round ones in the back there, okay? And then I have some other fenders that you can tie onto the handles that are in the side of the boat, give you good protection where you can protect your gel coat. Those will be in the boat, on the bottom down here for you. There'll be plenty of them. So if you look down here, there's your fenders. So coming to the back, you can see we got our Bimini top. I got it down right now. When you're ready to pull it up, you just grab one of these straps, pull it on over, and then clip it down. So I usually put a twister too, because it actually helps with these things not making a humming sound when you're going down the water. And then you got your Bimini up, plenty of shade, okay? You got to do this one on this side too. Hook her down. You can adjust it a little bit front back how you need, but gives you a ton of shade. Coming to the back, you can see our motors running. Super quiet, nice 4-stroke. You'll see down here, actually let me turn that thing off so you can hear me better. So back here is your drain plug, right? So this is a remote drain plug. I'm not going to take it out right now because we're in the water, but you can see it says in and out, okay? And it works just like it says. But when you go over to in, you'll feel it stop for a second, and you want to give it just a little bit more push, and then you'll feel that drain plug seat, okay? And then it's fully inserted in there. Now, this thing works great, but they want you to grease it every once in a while. So if it feels like it's kind of sticking a little bit and we don't want to go in, just get some grease and put on that gasket on it. Other than that, you know, that's where we're at. So over here you got your ski ladder. So it's underneath that hatch, just folds down, good to go. That side's got the same thing, but it's just a fake hatch. So back there you got your light pole. I'm sending you with that Sea Clear pole I got, that really expensive light. So you should be in the money. Now moving back in here, these seats are on sliders and rotators. So you can slide the seat forward and back, and there's a clip in the front. You pull it and the seat will turn any way you want it to. Why is that handy? Well, if you're sitting over here and you're pulling the tube ski or whatever, you turn the seat and now mom can see the skiers and whoever's back there to see when they fall, okay? These have bolsters, which I really like, because say you're pulling in the dock and you need more visibility, right? You can flip it up and now you can stand and drive the boat. Or you can sit back down on it and sit on it and get a little bit more height out of it. So it's super duper handy. I don't know if you've driven a boat before, but standard mechanical throttle, in and out of gear, you'll feel a detent forward, neutral back. It's got a squeeze handle on it, so you don't go past the neutral when you're pulling it back. This still controls your in and out of gear. And then of course your pedal is your throttle. So once you're in gear, hit your pedal to go. So if you have any questions, let me know, man. You're getting a heck of a deal on a boat, that's for sure. I'm just happy it's going to a good home. Somebody's going to take care of it. So thank you.